right, welcome to episode 4
5. I think we're on 5.
Episode 5, lucky number 5 of Trailer Tailors. I'm Cory.
I'm Matt.
And we represent 2/3 of the Trailer in a Box team with our talented colleague John Gartner over at Dark Arts Syndicates. We work on trailers by day and look at other people's trailers also by day. And then we remix them with weird genres that our friends tell us to do on LinkedIn. Today, we're checking out...
Today we're checking out Battlefield 6.
Yes, and our remixes of the delightful 007 First Light. Mm-hmm. So we'll take a look at those, look at the Battlefield 6 trailer, break it down, see why it ticks, and we'll remix those in today's super size episode. But we're going to try to do all of the Battlefield 6 content in one episode, so each of our episodes can be about one game.
Well, let's start out with our remixes. All right, so the first one we're going to watch here, this is the one that I did. My way back in the day was when I was an undergrad. My old video editing instructor once told me, never introduce your work by apologizing for that. I'm going to actually do that right now. I apologize. This was the one that really I had a whole bunch of trouble with. But
okay, now we get into the good stuff.
Yeah, this is what we got. So, okay.
Dude, that was awesome. What are you talking about?
It is.
Great.
It is right out of like video editing 101 in terms of stuff for me. So
awesome.
I will go ahead and get more into the reasons why, I felt it did not turn out nearly as well as I would have liked. But you get an hour. That's how it works. And honestly, my rendering went over that time. To be fair, those titles took longer to render than I expected. So
I also rendered a moment over the deadline. Dude, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I thought that was great. For 1 hour? This is dope, man.
Oh, you were so sweet. All right, let's get to the good stuff, because yours are always incredibly entertaining. So I am going to go ahead and bring up this one.
All right, so I'm feeling less confident about mine after seeing Matt's, which he said was bad, but I thought that was dope. I also ran into like a little bit of scope trouble just because there was so much to work with, but had some fun with it, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So this is my take on 007 First Night. I want to tell you about the day I died. I knew he was bad news the minute I heard his voice.
Bond. James Bond.
He was too pretty. Too smart for his own good. He's a kind of sucker you'd see save a cat in the first 5 minutes of some feel-good movie. It's just me and him. I got a nickel, says he's the one writing a sad sack song right now. But he had friends. A bunch of them. Yeah, so he got me. But hey, at least I got to take some of them with
me. What are you talking about? That was fantastic. I love the voice alone. Yeah, that's a nickel.
Another voice I had to pitch way down, but no, it was funny. I live recorded it on, I tried YouTube this time for funsies, and you can watch me sort of panic and try to figure out what film noir actually is.
Oh,
didn't really knew. Like I kind of was like, oh yeah, it's like that Calvin and Hobbes comic with like the guy, and he's like,
no, it's like, I mean, I was kind of glad that you took it instead of me, because like I think I like with I love film noir. Like, what is it, like Kiss Me Deadly, which I never saw the whole thing, unfortunately. What was the other one? The Maltese Falcon, really sort of like one of the early ones, but like all that, like that really dark, like setting, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you nailed it for that. So
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, the Wikipedia page, I believe, mentioned both of those titles. Oh man. And also I love that first shot where it was just like bam, the like flashlight, and it specifically addressed one of your concerns with the trailer, which is that we didn't get like, that sense of like who's the villain, what's the danger, like, it was
there was one shot of the villain, like, and the last thing I'll say about mine is that originally I wanted to do more with the last shot of the main villain at one point has that mask on. And like that right there, that's right out of Dark Souls.
That's fun.
That's
Dark Souls too.
Oh yeah. So I really wanted to go like the idea of, because they all have helmets on and they all have like these faceless masks that never change. And I was like, okay, I really want to work with that. But again, just time, the technical details basically completely undercut your grand creative vision. And you have to just ship out what you got really quick as a minimum viable product.
Minimum viable product. Hey man, for an MVP, that was pretty good. Yeah, I was just I think I read the villains thing and it was like British accent. Nope, can't do that in 1 hour. So I went with like the Jersey, let me tell you about the day I died. But that was fun.
That actually works. That works better for film noir. It was like an old gangster kind of like talk.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yes. Yeah. No, I had fun with it, and definitely like you said, like that original trailer. It was almost so tight and so polished with like such quick cuts. It was hard to pull it apart. So I just definitely went and like grabbed a bunch of random stuff. And there's a lot. There's a lot out there because it's a pretty big game. But it was fun.
All right. Let's move on to Battlefield 6.
Confession, I have not played 6 yet, and I haven't even looked at the trailer. So I'm kind of coming in with fresh eyes here. I think Matt maybe, squinted at it while he was setting up the podcast, but we're going to go with a fresh react here.
The world is a vampire. Sent to drain.
Showtime.
Secret destroyer. Hold you up to the flames. Sound check. What do I get?
Okay, boys, we're here to do one thing. One thing.
That's silly.
Who was that?
Doesn't matter. Let's move. Scope the area.
Flag, 2 clicks out.
And a tank. Let's take it out. Roger that. Let's go! Light it up!
On it!
Somebody take out the tank!
Sniper! Take him out!
That's a wipe.
Sorry, boys.
Nice shot.
Well, that was easy.
This is it.
I see the flag.
Say when.
Cindy!
Battlefield 6. Pre-order now.
Wow, they killed off Zac Efron really fast. That was a decision.
Well,
Wow. Okay. There's a lot there. But was that for Battlefield 6 or Call of Duty? I mean,
it says Battlefield 6, doesn't it? Yeah, Battlefield 6. So you go first. What you're the one who's like, it's like I said, it's near and dear to your heart. So what's your thoughts?
that was my thought. Was that for Battlefield or Call of Duty? Like that to me, I saw that, and don't get me wrong, cool trailer, but like that felt like a Call of Duty trailer, right? It was very infantry focused. It was very focused on like squad play interactions. It kind of had those like Call of Duty style, real world footage with like the sort of like jokes delivered right as someone blows up. Like Battlefield to me is more about like, oh my God, there's like 12 vehicles all flying around each other and everything's exploding and it's very cool. And they had some of that, but very interesting approach.
Let's go to the mural board.
Okay, so there were a bunch of things that I really liked about this trailer.
I have to interrupt you really quick because the way you just said that was total dad talk. Like, I'm very proud of you, but
I'm not mad.
yeah.
No, okay. There were things that I liked about it, and it was an easy watch, right? Like, and it's obviously a high quality trailer. Like the star power up front was both delightful. Like everyone likes a little bit of Zac Efron in their life, and I think when one of the things we talk about is like when you're making a trailer, right? This is the entry point for the entire game experience, right? And it's that user funnel where every 5 seconds you're risking X% of your audience falling off. And if the first thing you see is like super star powered, dudes walking up with cool gear, you're like, all right, I'll see what Jimmy Butler has to say about this. So it did the most important thing. It kept the main thing, as Super Bowl MVP quarterback Jalen Hurts, go Birds, has recently said. So the star power I thought worked. The feature showcase I thought was very nice. One of the things that you enjoy doing in Battlefield is, or at least what I enjoy, is like, looking at each of the classes, delving into the tech tree, trying different gear, trying different strategies, trying them on different maps. Like there's just such a large matrix of gameplay nouns and verbs. It just makes it a lot of fun. And they did a great job of showcasing a ton of those, right? Like if you think about all the individual mechanics that were showcased in there with like quick cuts right to the music, very easy to like watch. And it was pretty lighthearted and fun, right? You can kind of glance at that and be like, yeah, this is gonna be pretty fun. So definitely some good things. The main thing for me was I literally halfway through was like, crap, did I send Matt a trailer for Call of Duty, which I also love. I also love Call of Duty. And I'm not mad that they released Modern Warfare 6 months before we released Frontlines Fuel of War and stole all of our thunder. And then recently are releasing a game based on North Korea invading South Korea, which we did in Homefront. So it's fine though, not mad, not bitter. But for this trailer, welcome to Corey's therapy. For this trailer, I thought, it didn't feel like Battlefield, right? To me, the feeling of Battlefield is, yes, you start off often as infantry, but like you're playing off of the vehicles as a primary part of the gameplay mechanic. Like you're almost like, okay, I know I want to be in the tank hitting that objective, so I'm going to do these things as an infantry. Or you're saying, they've got the tank, I'm going to do these things with infantry to counter it. I didn't see as much of that interplay as I would have liked. It felt more like the vehicles were presented as power-ups or NPCs or something external to the player, whereas like the beauty of Battlefield is it's deeply woven in. And I guess the other thing is like, it didn't look like a Battlefield game, which is to say like Battlefield is a gorgeous franchise. Every edition has pushed the state of the art beyond what people thought was possible at the scale that they do it, right? Huge player counts, tons of vehicles, huge maps, amazing texture resolution, amazing effects, amazing lighting, right? That's their thing. This looked like perfect. It looked like perfectly rendered CG. It didn't look like a video game, which I think maybe lost a little of the magic that I would want from my Battlefield. But, they're taking it back to first principles. If the point of this trailer is to get someone to play this game, like I'm going to play Battlefield 6 if the trailer was a sticky note that said, hey, you should play Battlefield 6, right? This is reaching out clearly to the Call of Duty audience. So number 3, maybe it's not even a bad thing, right? It's just a thing.
All right. So for me, it was these types of games are not my bread and butter. So this is an interesting approach for me. So this type of trailer is not meant for somebody like me. So I'm coming out with much more neutral eyes in that sense. That's why I like the fact that you had a lot of aspects to it. However, my first point, not the bread and butter per se, my first point to it that I came away with is that I don't know how much of this is actually in the game. So this is clearly I'm 99.9% sure this is almost all CG, specially rendered, that will not show up in the game at all, right? And there's a lot of game trailers that have gone through that before, where what you see in these kind of trailers wind up to be completely different than what you saw in others. There are aspects to it where I wasn't sure what the gameplay was, where I was like, it wasn't until like the drone that I really felt like, okay, that's clearly going to be a game mechanic. Like that part I knew. Part of this might be my unfamiliarity with the thing. Like I saw like, oh, looking the flag, 2 clicks and that kind of stuff. That part I all understood, but I wasn't sure like the gameplay aspect was it. It's a launch trailer, so totally understand why they might do that. But that was my first take, is like, how much of this is in the game? The second thing is, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this. I feel like they're really going after our age generation. Like, you know, the late Gen Xers, the early millennials, because what song's playing in the background? Smashing Pumpkins,
Yeah.
which at this point is, I hate to say this, 25 years old, 30 years old, maybe, you know, when that song came out. Yeah. That's what I mean though. It's like, it's going back to those days when you're sitting and on your couch in your parents' house on your console, playing while you're listening to the alt music rock stations, or you're in college or that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the feeling that I have from it. So it's like, this is not, I don't know if this is really meant to attract in like new players or young players, as opposed to like really like get the core audience of the people who grew up with Battlefield, who grew up with Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that was like one of the things that pinged in my head, is like, using that song, and also, like you said, the same kind of like, dry humor that was going on. Like, I did appreciate the fact that they blew up all their stars in the beginning. That was like a nice little joke. And then the third thing I'm just going to say is that, I'm glad that you pointed out the fact that this was looking like Call of Duty, because like, I never played Battlefield. But halfway through this, trailer, I was thinking, my brain switched over to think it was Call of Duty, because I did play Call of Duty one time. I played one Call of Duty, and that's what this looked like to me. It was like, oh, it's Call of Duty. It's a 4-person squad. You know, you've got the drone, you've got, the tank, you've got the special equipment, you've got that. I did laugh a little bit when they had that beautiful deployable shield that like they set down and block bullets. Like, okay, that was also clearly gameplay. I don't think the U.S. Army actually has that kind of technology yet.
Yeah, I will say the tone was a slight mismatch from what I was expecting, right? A lot of Battlefield has had that sort of like more of a, for lack of a better term, like mature, like adult tone. Like it almost felt more like a Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg movie than kind of more of something that's a little bit more lighthearted. Again, more Call of Duty like. But yeah, that is quite a departure from the stuff we've been working on. And yeah, I definitely recommended a trailer that had nothing to do with the thing that we worked on. But this is way more interesting. So why don't we break it down? All right.
We are currently in DaVinci, and I've already done a little bit of pre-editing just to kind of like speed things up a little bit. Like Coray, so feel free to go ahead and make comments. But you start in the beginning here, and then up to about, was it like 24 seconds roughly? Like when I got the foot flying off. That's the whole opening joke, is that first second. Then they kind of like introduce the regulars,
Actually, Matt, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
There's a underrated first 5 seconds, which is like a logo and a jet flies across the screen and does a cool missile run, which like,
yes,
I think is actually pretty important because it draws you in and you sort of are like, ooh, some Battlefield.
Good call. Okay. And then they have their joke set up where all the celebrities get killed. Then they go to, and I hate to say it, but I didn't recognize like half of these people. And then we go to the regular soldiers coming in. And then I have another shot where like you have the classic looking through the sniper scope down the way. But really the other part I cut here is at basically 39 seconds when you have that top-down view of the street. That actually looks like a video game to me, really briefly. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's how it looks in the actual game. I think it's mostly first person for Battlefield. But that's when I was like, okay, like this looks more like a video game because of how the cars are set up so you can run from cover from one to the other. Then you introduce the tank at 140, and light it up. You get into the I got a question for you. This at the 51 seconds, that's when you actually have like that explosion go off and things kind of go slow, and then there's a high pitched whine like you would normally get with that kind of stuff. I was just kind of curious. I was trying to, again, because I'm not sure, because this is all this is not gameplay footage. I was trying to think if they're trying to hint at particle effects or realistic explosion effects in terms of not just the dust and the particles, but also maybe the audio. If you're close to an explosion when it goes off, your audio goes out for a short while. Haven't they ever done anything like that before?
I mean, yes, but I think they're trying to showcase we paid a lot of money for a live action shoot and we're going to blow stuff up.
Okay.
But yes, there is, I believe those mechanics have been in past Battlefield games. And one of the things that's great about Battlefield is, despite the fact that it's running a massive simulation, they have great particle effects, great sound effects, and everything, and it's all well lit, right? Which is expensive. And they do a great job of optimizing it and making it great.
Then we get into around 57 seconds. That's when they start showing off the deployables. So again, more of a game aspect to it. They get to, what is it here? At 1 minute and 12 seconds is when they introduce the drone, which that's when I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely going to be something in the game. And then they have that final, oh no, not the final. Then they go at 1 minute and 20 seconds to where they take out the people in the building with the guys coming in with the bazooka. And of course he takes a quick second to make a quip before he fires the bazooka, because that's what you do in real life. Then you go.
Actually, this one it is representative, because that is absolutely what you would do in Battlefield if you found someone sniping and you snuck up behind, be like, "Hey, what's up?" Right?
Okay, cute. All right,
that's perfectly realistic.
I like that. That's an excellent way to put it. Well done. And then at 1:30 is when they go ahead and they bring in the final vehicle that I guess is laden with explosives that blows up the building, and that's kind of your money shot when that whole building goes up.
I appreciate that one, because if you are a longtime Battlefield player, ghost riding light armor into a target and then blowing up the C4 that you have placed on it, it is the best way in Battlefield to capture that I am so smart feeling. And it's golden every time.
Okay, cool. See, that's as somebody who doesn't come in with that kind of knowledge, that could be the whole purpose of it. They're tipping their hat to their longtime fans and saying
I think that was, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're showing you some of the things that have happened organically during the development of the series. And we're that's sort of hey, we see you, we got you. Because then after that you go into the actual title part of it, and then that's when you wrap it up. So
cool. So I'm gonna go over what I am calling the Zac Efron effect. One of the funny things is when Matt is looking at this in DaVinci, I'm looking at it in YouTube, and I see the spark line for most replayed. And it sort of goes like this, right? And it tails off towards the end. Mm-hmm. It's a little sharper than actually. It kind of goes like this, and then it tails off. And Zac Efron, I believe, is blown up right around here.
Right at that cut. Right at that cut.
Right?
No. Earlier than that.
Right. It is?
Right where the cut is. That's where the explosion happens. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, right there. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I think we all know what that means is the minute you remove Zac Efron from a trailer, that's it, right? It's all downhill from there. So and all kidding aside, it does sort of speak to the value of having some celebrities and that sort of formation of a scene. And you kind of know that once you see them blow up, you're like, okay, well, there's a punchline coming. And so you kind of stick around for it. But it kind of also speaks to the fact that maybe the next section, because where's the first bit of gameplay here really? I think it's
the first the one spot where it's up. Hang on, let me get my thing here. This spot right here is the overhead shot of the thing, and then from that point on, again, there's no actual gameplay being shown. The feature set is what you're talking about, and that's really kind of right around This time here, when they bring out the deployables that are, it's for me anyways, that's when it's clear this is going to be in the game, as opposed to this is just like the high gloss cinematic that we created.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say, actually, sort of put this on the bottom here. Like, it feels like that's the weakest part, right? Because it's not that it's not well composed. It's not that it's
so brutal.
It's not that it's not well shot. It's almost too well done. There's nothing that interesting about it. It's perfect, right? It's like, yeah, look at that guy doing a perfect flip and everything explodes in just the right way. Like, well done. But you delivered something, I think, that everyone kind of tunes out on, right? They're kind of like, well, okay, I get where this is going, and then they turn off. And I think it doesn't do the franchise justice. And it feels like one of those things where it's like, well, okay, we've paid a lot of money for these awesome running through explosion shots. We better put them in, because I would cut that part and go right to the end, because showing off like the drone, showing off like the airstrikes coming in, ghost riding the Jeep, like those are very cool moments, and those are representative. I think those kind of resonate a little bit better. But yeah, that's my hot take.
Yeah, over here, like, so you made that good point earlier. You said, like, over here in the beginning where I just put the arrow, that's when you have that establishing shot of the bridge with the plane going by and firing the missiles. Yeah. That's cool. That's just that's a good setup shot. The part where you put like the weak area, I think one of the things about it too is sort of like when you're looking at it from a cinematic point of view, what really gets people involved or invested is when you actually care about the characters. When it's like, like there's danger, the characters that we've watched or that we've gotten to know are in danger of getting harmed or killed. And in this case, it's like, well, it's a game, so you're not going to have that. But then, so like these shots of like the explosion happening, them flipping around, and then their thing going on there. There's just, for me, there's really nothing there. It's like, okay, like I see what you're doing, but it's not like I'm like emotionally invested in it. I think I agree with you that I kind of like perked up around the spot where they started showing like the actual like feature sets. It's like, okay, like that's an interesting deployable. Okay, that's how they take out the tank. Oh, there's the drone. I get that. Okay, and then they drive the building. They drive the vehicle into the building. And I also wonder too, like if that drop off from Zac Efron and the others is because of the fact that people watch just to get the joke, and then after that, like, okay, like that was funny. I'll watch it again, and then I don't need to see the rest of the trailer. That might be the other thing.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I wonder, there's like this alternate version that could have kind of circumvented this middle part. And I'm just gonna like dotted line over here. Let's say we don't kill off Zac Efron, Jimmy Buckets, and the other people that we're too old to know. And what if you sort of mapped them to the different roles that you kind of promised at the beginning, right? Because it was like Zac Efron, assault, Jimmy Butler, recon. I forget what the roles were exactly. And like you show, to your point, Matt, Zac Efron, this person who has acted in a lot of movies and shows, and you sort of have this like implied investment, right? He's played so many characters that you're like, yeah, I have feelings, latent feelings about this character, or the characters this person has played. And then he starts using a drone. You're like, oh, okay, cool. He's getting some, or maybe he's running through fire like the other actors did, but we didn't get the establishing moment for those actors. I think that would have been a little bit more resonant. Like, one of the things that's fun about Battlefield is there is quite a bit of personal expression, right? You create a character, you have a tech tree, you have a specialization, both mechanically and like aesthetically. You make that character your own. You develop a play style, right? You, amongst your friends, you get known for something. If someone's really good at flying the light helicopter, they're like the light helicopter person, right? Like, that is a big part of Battlefield and why people love it. There was so much agency in this very large open world simulation. It would have been cool to sort of see like, oh, I guess, yeah, Jimmy Butler, he's always the, initiator for an offense. I bet he's going to be the assault guy and go, shotgun blazing or whatever, right? Which I think maybe was a lost opportunity here. But you get the feeling of it at the end, right? When you see the different play styles with like the deployable cover, the drone, etc. But it would be cool to map those to the celebrities that they clearly paid a lot of money for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, to be fair to the trailer, you only get less than 2 minutes really to do this. So like setting up like actual like feelings for the character, I think was would be very hard for certain games. That can work if you set up sort of like a single character and sort of like a struggle or an issue they have, and then like some of the challenges they face. You might be able to make that work better. And also in this case here, based on like all the other dry humor they have and things, I think they were just sort of like, they were going into this with a lot of self-awareness. It's like, we're going to do the classic thing where, the classic joke where we set it up where we literally got like these famous people that are part of the game and they get blown up. And that also might have been like as a launch trailer as sort of like a little bit of a troll in terms of like, people might think, oh, they're going to be in the game, and then they get blown up. So it's like, oh, no, they're not going to be in the game, and we're just like messing with you, So, Ghost Ride. So yeah, it's, I think from like, I think really like in this case, you're probably like the best one to speak to it, because this is a trailer made for you, for a fan of the franchise. And it's like, now, like you said, you're probably going to play the next Battlefield that comes out regardless of the quality of the trailer. And I can't remember if I mentioned in the last episode, but I know I did mention that a good/bad trailer does not equate a good/bad game. But also what I've have felt is that the difference between a good trailer and a great trailer, a good trailer makes fans of the game and fans of the genre want to play it. A great trailer makes everyone want to play it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And so like in this case here, I'd say like you could say this could be a good trailer, because fans of the franchise are like, okay, like you said, it might feel a little bit different in some ways, but you're still gonna play. It didn't turn you off. It's a bad trailer, you'd be like, oh god, I have no interest in this. So like I think that worked, but like I wouldn't call it a great trailer, because for someone like me, I have no interest in playing it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, and when we do our remixes, I'm excited to kind of dive into the like, what other trailers did they release? What else is there? Like did they have a more vehicles focused trailer? That kind of thing.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a perfect segue into, we're going to start a new format going forward, at least for a little bit, where we're going to go ahead and have each episode contained with just one game in that episode. So we're going to introduce the trailer, break it down, talk about it, decide our remixes. Then we're going to go away. We'll come back, and then I will edit onto the end our actual remixes, so that the whole trailer in the future will be about one game going forward. And if you like that, let us know. If you don't like that, let us know, and we'll continue to work with it. But we're going to try that going forward. So with that in mind, Coray, why don't you start us off? What is mine for Battlefield 6?
Well, I'm going to start off with one of the sickest burns I've ever read on LinkedIn. We started a thread about, and I believe it was our boss, Melissa, saying, I quote, "What is the most unlikely remix of Battlefield? Help me torture Coray and Matt." Laughing, crying emoji. And Nicholas Ritter posted horror genre, because that's what the Battlefield franchise has turned into. I mean, I would love to see this trailer done as a horror game, and we saw a foot flying around. And B, I mean, sweet burn, right?
All right. Okay. All right. I can do that. Like, yeah, there was a foot flying around at the very least. That should be done. For you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick My Little Pony. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to do Grease the Musical. You're fine.
only slightly less absurd, but I definitely time froze there where I was like, how would we even approach that? But yeah, a little known fact, I was Teen Angel in my high school's production of Grease. So, hey, do one of these.
Oh my God. All right.
We'll drop out.
Okay. So I apologize. What we're going to do now then is we're going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and go off and do our stuff, and Coray and I will reconvene in a couple of days, and we will review what we've got. So don't be surprised if we're wearing different shirts and the lighting is different. Perfectly normal. So see you in X amount of time. Sometime later.
All right, welcome back. As you can see, it's trailer in a box. No, Trailer Tailors After Dark. We're both deliriously tired because it was a bit of a busy week. We had just did our final delivery for our friends at Titan One. Shout out to Rathan. And we have some remixes. Matt, how are you feeling about yours? You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So let me introduce it. Basically, this was the Battlefield as a horror game, not cosmic horror or body horror, just like straight out horror game. So I just like put this together. And I will say, Coray, that you'll appreciate this is that I kind of like kept it a little more simple this time, and I got done sooner. So I'm happier with this one than I was with the 007.
It was supposed to be a routine assignment. And turned out to be a descent into their worst fears. Battlefield 6.
No more giving you horror stuff. Oh my god. That was great, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, much more straightforward on that one. I didn't bother downloading anything else. I just used the stuff that I had. I put down some filters and did some other kind of edits with that, and then just a little bit of stuff at the end for the title. And I was like, "That's it, I'm done." And I got it all finished with like 2 minutes to spare, and I was so happy.
Oh, clean, dude. It was clean. It was supposed to be dude. The shoe.
Yeah.
So messed up. It's funny with like the original presentation, but with that music, it's so disturbing. Oh man.
Yeah. And then also, and then like it was that, and the guy like screaming out. I was like, okay, both of those, I think I can work with.
Pretty good.
All right,
also
so
deeply disturbing.
that was mine. Why don't you intro yours, my friend?
Sure. All right. So now, I believe the assignment was Battlefield 6 meets the classic musical Grease. I was tempted to use Teen Angel. Teen Musical Dropout. Sorry.
Yes. Excellent song.
Yes, I sang the solo for that. My mic didn't work, so I was trying to like really project, and then one of the angels came over and like wiggled the battery into place. I got 2 standing ovations. It was pretty good. I felt good about that. But this is what happens when you do this late at night. The actual trailer, I'm just gonna let it roll and explain what happened afterwards. But I had some fun with it. So that was one of Less Than Jake's first songs. Was they did a whole
Jake. Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Yes, one of my favorite bands of all time. They did a cover of the whole Grease musical, and that was one of their songs. And the party's like, "Shoot him up! What the hell does that mean?" But,
yeah, that was good. And
I definitely like pulled in. Sorry,
you put in some other footage too. It looks like nice. Okay.
I basically went through and I was like, which of these say we Battlefield together? And it was a lot of like guys pulling each other up and like healing each other and like running together like best friends. I realized this was like a bit of a non-serious one, but it was actually fun to just sort of do a very linear, like, sort of quarter time. halftime, and then double time, and then right at the end, it's just bang, 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 bang. And even when you're just kind of messing around, like just having doubling the pace of the shots just sort of adds a lot of energy. You know, you're just sort of like, oh, okay, all right, tanks, planes, cool, great. You know, definitely. And I tried to swap between like infantry and vehicles because, you know, we go together. Right? Like,
Nice.
but yeah, there's actually a ton. You know, we were maybe a little, critical of the footage because it didn't feel like Battlefield. I would say even a sloppy trailer construction like this, when you throw all the vehicles in, you throw all the abilities in, like you kind of get, put Zac Efron, in there a few more times. I don't know if you noticed, I put a little glint effect. I had like 5 seconds at the end. I couldn't remember how to do lens flares in the new version of Premiere, but it had like a lighting effect on them because it just at one point just goes Zac Efron.
Yeah, I did see that. I think I recognized the glint, but everything was going by fast enough that I didn't.
Oh yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, pick it up.
I think I'm gonna put that Zac Efron clip in a couple of the trailers, just because I feel like that would really add a lot.
So look forward coming forward. Okay, got it. All right, so those were our remixes for this episode. We're gonna go ahead and it was basically my turn anyway, so I'll say it. We're gonna review the trailer for Blueprints. Which is a game that I heard a lot about, I've been interested in getting, and I think that's going to be a very different from Battlefield 6 for us to take a look at. So that'll be next time on Trailer Tailors. So
taking a hard left or right or blue. We should not do this after dark. All right, that's episode 5. That's our episode.
5.
I'm Cory.
I'm Matt. So
we work together on the Trailer to Box team at Dark Arts Syndicates. Hit us up if you want to make some trailers sometime. And thanks for stopping by the podcast. See you next time.